Well, no, even before we do that, I've got some very important questions for you that I need answers for. This is, we can't proceed unless we have the right answers. So number one, British chip shop chips or American fries?
Obviously, British chip shop chips.
Cadbury's or Hershey's?
I presume you're trying to compare chocolate, and you've only named one chocolate company. So,
There you go. Trousers or pants?
well, it depends if you're my 5-year-old or not, because she's American, and so it's pants to her, but to me, it's trousers.
Good. Yep, that's half a point. And finally, router or router?
Oh God, I work with Americans, and I work for a networking company, so router. Sorry, I know.
Good for you. Have fun with the comments below. They're going to be an absolute cesspit. Hello and welcome back. And that's right, we've got Alex from KTZ back. We're going to talk about Plex. For those that aren't aware, we both sort of talked about this subject in the last few days. Plex Pass is going up from the 1st of July to $749.99. Very important. We include that. Someone in the comments said to me, call it what it is. It's $750. Sure. But nevertheless, I mean, again, I think we're both in agreement on this. This is basically a technique they're using to stop people using a lifetime pass without eliminating lifetime pass for Plex Pass there. I mean, you made a good video about this as well. If anything, you were a lot more polite and I'm not going to say you defended Plex. That would be unfair. But I think you laid out the position that Plex find themselves in quite well.
Yeah, it's a very weird set of emotions going on over here today. Plex have raised the price by $500 for their lifetime pass. And I'm sat over here going, okay, good, nice, awesome, kinda, because, $750 is borderline still not enough. Like, if you're going to offer a lifetime pass, it's got to be enough to pay someone's salary, because the whole idea behind software development is recurring revenue. Developers need to eat. Companies have overheads, that kind of thing. And without a recurring revenue, it's just not going to work. And this all started 15 years ago with Adobe starting the Creative Cloud subscription. Honestly, I hate it. I hate all the subscriptions, but I understand it. And so I look at the Plex blog post where they say, we looked at eliminating the lifetime pass. And I look at the comment under your video and the comment under my video, and I'm like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't at this point.
But I mean, I would argue ever so slightly, not so much with you, but with them, this is a decision that should have been made, not even just yesterday. This is a decision from a decade ago.
Didn't we say that in the last video?
Well, I was going to say throughout this video, I might insert clips of that video where we had a discussion last year about the price increases, because a lot of this kind of got foreseen by a couple of smart fellas there. He said modestly. I mean, again, it's finding it. I mean, they made very eloquent points about the fact they hadn't raised that price over a decade, which is strictly true. I mean, whether you want to factor in inflation, factor in deals and your Black Fridays and etc.
So here's the thing. I don't really understand why they're continuing to offer a lifetime pass at all. If the argument is it's not a sustainable business model to offer lifetime at 125, offering it at 250 makes, in the long run, it makes absolutely no difference.
One could argue maybe they could have gone, what they're trying to do with this $249 is actually to wean people away from lifetime. And in that case, $249 is not enough. And if that was their tactic, and again, I'm just hypothesizing, but if it was an effort to wean people away from lifetime, they should have gone 500. 500 feels like the number that stops people dead in their tracks, and then there'll still be detractors arguing with supporters saying, well, do you know what? Do you know how much these things cost?
They don't have much choice, do they? I mean, it's not necessarily the people watching this today that I feel the most empathy for, because we typically as a group have been around for a little while. We've probably already made the calculus of a lifetime pass purchase. Pays for itself in 6 months or whatever it is, depending on if you get a Black Friday deal or not. The people I feel the most empathy for are the ones who come to self-hosting in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, and just the new normal is that Plex is 250 plus It's the precedent that it sets as well.
I would still recommend a lifetime pass over the monthly or the annual cost there. But that $249, there must have been better ways to scale gradually over that decade than go $119 and then suddenly $249 there. But Plex have known this is a problem for a while. And what I was articulating in my vid was that Plex should eliminate the Plex Pass moving forward. Now, I'm not suggesting that subscriptions are great. They're not. They're awful. But as you say, they've got to get paid. And if lifetime subscriptions, one, you're saying it would need to be higher than $750 anyway, if you're thinking genuinely lifetime, if a company's going to be around in a decade's time. But it's for me, it's always been the lead weight of people like you and me that bought a lifetime subscription Plex Pass so long ago, who are still being maintained. And the number of people that are using Plex right now that are paying that monthly or annual subscription, I imagine are actually quite low in the grand scheme of things. I can't imagine it's a huge... I'd be amazed even if it was double digits at this stage. And that's why I was kind of... Even keeping the Plex Pass on the table is just another example of the brand kicking a stone into the future that they're still going to have to deal with. Because I think if we're going to make a video like this in a year's time, they're going to have to increase the monthly and annual subs. I do believe that. I don't think this is going to make a bunch of people go, well, I'm going to get the annual sub, because
quite the opposite.
Plex as a value proposition, it's very hard to justify Plex as a value proposition to someone that's never used it. The only way you can describe it to people is it's Netflix, but with your own media.
Yeah.
And that isn't worth that amount per year, because they'll go, well, I've got Netflix.
And they're operating in spicy waters. Let's not beat around the bush here. Most people with a Plex server are operating it with pirated content. It's just a fact. And my eye patch is in the drawer.
It's only my eye.
Yeah, like so asking people to pay for anything when they've already crossed that line, it's a tough sell, first of all. And then secondly, I mentioned this in my video about Roon, who are a self-hosted bring your own files music service. They do like what Sonos do, where they kind of bring together all the different speakers in your house and you can cast music to different rooms. And you pay them, I think it's $15 a month for access to just the software. You bring all the music. It's not like Tidal or Spotify where you get access to everything that they feel like generating through AI this month. It's just a tough sell. And if you look at it through that lens, I really struggle to understand now who's going to be adopting Plex moving forward. I mean, I bought, and someone in my comments rightfully called me out for being a bit of a boomer by saying it's like, I bought my pass 12 years ago for $75. Good for me. Okay, what about the new people that are coming to it and looking at it and going, well, I could pay $6 or $7 a month for access to, we'll talk about what's on the Plex Pass in a minute, but there's a bunch of features that are a bit wishy-washy. I could pay $7 a month for access to that stuff, or I could pay $750 and recoup my investment in 9 years. I don't know about you, mate, but like I look at the costs already of hardware and getting involved in self-hosting at all these days. I look at the cost of this going up, and it's like you're basically just shutting out the market.
And I mean, someone else in my comments raised that, defending Plex to a point, and they were saying how, Plex have clearly looked at how much a Netflix costs, or an Apple TV, or
$325 a year, by the way, for top tier Netflix these days.
Bucks, stick that passport in the bin. So he said, completely hypocritically, but just bucks. Generally, the idea of making a comparison to platforms where they provide the media as well is kind of comedic in this, because one of the discussions you and I had before was comparing Plex against Jellyfin, and Jellyfin, there is no subscription tier on there. And I said, if a load of people move there, then there is a discussion to be had about managing that scale and whether it can be And I know we don't completely see eye to eye on that, but with Plex has sort of put itself into a position of having these returning bills the whole time. And some of it is software development, some of it is just platform-based, some of it is presumably raw assets in the field, be they staff or otherwise. But as we discussed just prior to starting the recording, we just thought it would be worth discussing exactly what a Plex Pass includes. So these are the things that you get with Plex Pass that you only get with a Plex Pass, or some of the ancillary paid stuff like the Just Watch Pass, which again, baffling, that thing. So these are the things you can't get away with on the standard. Skip intros and credits. Again, question mark. Downloads and offline viewing. Mobile app playback. Hardware accelerated transcoding. Bandwidth and stream limits. Plex Dash access. Remote streaming. Live TV recording. Commercial skipping, Plex Amp premium perks, trailers and extras, Plex home restrictions, and exclusive visual streams, or visual themes, I should say. Is anything I've missed there from your screen?
No, but I'm just baffled by the one feature that stands out to me in that list that's just head scratching is downloads. I mean, literally all you're doing is sitting between me and my file and letting me download it to my... I can't even transcode it to a certain... Or can you? There was a period where you couldn't. To a certain quality.
Again, I've had Plex Pass for so long that, again, I'm probably one of those boomers that got complained about earlier in this video, but yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, for me, the one I always have had mixed feelings about is the hardware transcoding, because now it's my file being made and arranged and reconverted using my software in my electricity being played on my device. Now, I get it, some of it, that if they need to support certain clients with really iffy codec or compression support, but it's 2026, that is less of a case anymore.
Yeah.
Things like intros and credits, skipping intros and credits. I mean, what?
It's a cool feature, though.
Oh, no, it is a cool feature. Well, I'm not suggesting it's a good or bad feature. I'm saying putting that in Plex Pass and not Plex Standard.
Well, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I don't necessarily agree with what I'm about to say. I'm just saying it for the purposes of the discussion. Plex want to add a new feature. Let's just use the com skip and the intro skip as an example.
Yeah.
What's their incentive to spend dev time on something if they then don't put it behind a paywall?
You're absolutely right. There needs to be something facilitating in terms of the money coming in and the revenue. But at the same time, again, I think one of the things we talked about along these very same lines in the previous video is would Plex ever introduce an ad service alongside it? And that would end up being the alternative. But you're right. Adding features and services to Plex rather than just
don't give them ideas, Robbie. Don't let them don't let them put ads in my files, please. Don't let them put ads in my files.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people would have to answer the question, and they're going to pick some secret third one. But if they had to pick between a massive increase in Plex costs or Plex with ads, which would they pick? Again, maybe if you're in the comments below, tell me which one of those you would pick. Don't introduce a third one, just those two. But no, you're right. There has to be, if not a financial motivation, there has to be a drive and sustainability in a lot of these features. But some features that they are proclaiming value towards, they feel desperate. Like you mentioned about the downloads, things like trailers and extras. There is an argument, trailers and extras, actually finding the pathway and getting that information, there is some work that goes into that. But they are effectively ripping from YouTube. They're ripping from IMDb, embedded sources, right? I mean, just the list of things that are there, even if they introduced a third tier in some way, it would only overcomplicate things, I imagine.
You know what occurs to me, just in this discussion, in this moment? I think the Plex business model's gone about as far as it can go. Like the proprietary software model around this specific use case, I think has gone about as far as it can go. You look at, I know we mentioned the J word a lot, the Jellyfin word, as like some panacea of perfection. It isn't. Trust me, I've run both for many years. But the Jellyfin client situation, since we last talked a year ago, has improved dramatically. There are still some UX things that are a little wonky, and like it's not perfect. Like it's not on the same level as Plex. But you know what hasn't happened in the last year with Jellyfin? This. The price has
True.
stayed the same.
But again, so what would be their motivation, do you think? When we talk about adding features and services, is that a true passion project?
Yeah.
Are they the exception to the rule?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Jellyfin donations page. I'm just bringing it up right now. I think it says, if you're interested in helping the Jellyfin project, there's a few different ways to contribute, depending on your skills and availability. They almost don't want money. They just want human endeavor and effort to move the project forward. That's how you contribute to Jellyfin. It's very
Kind of the
altruistic.
WinRAR and the VLC argument.
Kind of.
Let's face it, that's a trial that's been going on for a very long time at this point.
Yep.
I mean, again, I know I'm being particularly binary about this, but the idea of increasing Plex Pass's price point to this terrifying level as a deterrent, almost. I mean, that or killing it. I've said before, I've said it in the intro to the video, I think Plex Pass, as you have rightly put there, it can't exist in the current software landscape. So, I mean, for you personally, do you think it should be the end of Plex Pass as we know it, or not? I mean, again, this isn't a binding decision, by the way. It's not that kind of a channel.
I kind of think they should have killed it. Yeah. It's weird because then that removes the option of a subscription-free thing forever. Like, I mean, we're building self-hosting infrastructure and media servers and stuff. I mean, once you build one, you're going to use it for the rest of your life, aren't you? I mean, I certainly know that some of the files on my hard drives downstairs have been on those hard drives for 10, 15 years at this point. Like, so the ROI is there eventually. Like, if you can hook a few whales, maybe you'll get a big cash injection, and then you can do something fun with that. And I don't know. There was someone in the comments floating that Plex is going to IPO. I'm not sure I see that, but the cash injection, I'm sure when they hook a few whales, will be nice. But I just don't see a rosy future for Plex as a company. They've tried so many things over the years with ad-supported this and external web content that, and they killed important features like photo, which they say they're bringing back, in fairness, a few years ago, which allowed things like image to come along and fill that void. And so they've slowly, systematically lost core differentiators over the years that would have helped sustain them. I mean, you could charge probably a bolt-on of a couple of dollars a month for photos, a couple of dollars a month for Plexamp. Like, that's the model. It's provide value to people and charge incrementally for it. It's not slap a massive flipping oil tanker's price tag on something and then I don't know.
It's ultimately a scare tactic.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I was going to raise earlier on, when we're talking about software development in 2026, a great example that I talk about on the channel quite a lot. Have you ever utilized something called ZimaOS?
That's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that, built on Casa OS, was free to use. I'm not going to call it open source because it doesn't traditionally fit that build, but it was free to use. Everyone's knocking around with it, loads of people just doing lots of things. Then the brand themselves released a NAS hardware product, and then they made a larger NAS version rather than a single board version. So we went from Casa OS into ZimaOS. Then it continued to be, I want to say 3 years, it might have been 2.5, that it was still freely accessible and everyone could use it. And then 10 months, with 10 months notice, they said, in 10 months' time, we're going to introduce a license on this. It's $29 lifetime.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you've still got the free product as an entry product, supporting up to, I want to say, 3 or 4 disks, 2 to 3 users, very light scenario, home labber, single user use, really. But then if you wanted unlimited disks, unlimited users, unlimited, etc., it's $29 forever. And that's per device. And the whole market went, okay. No one essed a bed. No one went, how dare you?
That's the price of a large McDonald's these days, so...
But we could go down that road and say, well, it's, they're being developed in a region where software development and wages perhaps comparatively less to other areas. We could diversify that point loads. But at $29 lifetime, it was an incredibly appealing proposition. And once you use the software, it's kind of come forward substantially. You said yourself you use it when you compare it against something
Yeah.
like, it's nowhere near as capable as like TrueNAS or Unraid, really.
No, they sent me a Zima 2 to check out, and I didn't honestly expect to spend any time with ZimaOS at all. I loaded it up and went, oh, this is pretty good. I was kind of pleasantly surprised, is the way I would put it. The thing we haven't talked about though is the specter of bespoke software and vibe coding your own solutions. And for a lot of people, that's just not something they're interested in doing. But for those of us that have been home labbing for a long time, being able to create solutions to problems we've had that are entirely bespoke to our own needs and use cases, with AI, of course, it's just incredibly empowering. And this is another nail in the coffin of Plex, that eventually somebody will vibe code something that is entirely as functional, if not more so, than what Plex is now. And they'll take the Jellyfin code base, probably as a starting point, fork it, throw that into Claude Code or Codex or whatever, and then just keep chugging away at it. They'll Ralph Wiggum their way to victory. And proprietary software, it's kind of doomed, isn't it?
I mean, presumably Plex also knows this as well, and hence the rather panicked mode. I mean, this whole decision about the price increase has felt tremendously last minute. Really, there has been nothing about it that's made me gone, this has been in the pipeline for months. And
what did we say last year? Innovate? That's what they need to do.
Well, I mean, there's a few brands I'm talking to at the moment. I think I've got a video that's going out in 12 minutes' time at the time of recording about Synology and their new DSM Enterprise Edition.
Oh.
And it's the same software, but with fewer features, built for an enterprise server, and it's licensed with an annual license. So it's the same software you can get anywhere, and it's license-based. And they're not the only example of... I mean, HexOS was the one we spoke about a while ago. HexOS, which finally released its
here
local.
Yet? It is out now, is it?
I think version 1.0 is out, and local is, but not a huge amount more than that. I will revisit it soon. But I know what you mean about the way AI agents... I mean, again, I'm dicking around with OpenClaw at the moment on a Ugreen off the back of a video I was working on. And this isn't even a powerful system. This is running on a comparable to a Pentium. And yes, I'm using a remote LLM, to do some of the legwork.
Right.
But the agent is doing its job there. And the number of things it can put together is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I would say in a media sense, we're still not quite there yet in terms of the knowledge level. We're getting there. I think the accessibility of these AI agents is getting lower and lower, where any idiot and his mum is slowly going to be able to get the job done. I don't think we're there on that level quite yet, but it's definitely on the horizon. I mean, right now, if you're in the Plex boardroom, what would you slam your hand on the table and tell them to do? I've put you on the spot tremendously there, but I mean, I'll make it easier for you. If I was in that position, I would immediately say, you need to retire Plex Pass for new accounts. Existing ones, grandfather the hell out of them. And introduce not so much an ad tier, but you need to basically find a better line between the free version and the paid version, because the line isn't clear enough between the two of them. It's so nebulous between a free version and a paid version right now. But go on, what would you propose?
It might be pretty spicy.
Well, it's not your channel, go nuts.
I would probably propose going open source.
Wow.
It's the only thing they've got left is their closed proprietary code. Because like when you look at replacing Plex in general, I used to think, and I made this point in my video too, that I used to think that Plex was the media server. I thought that was the product, but actually the product is the ecosystem. It's the auth screen. It's the clients. It's, all of this stuff. And I think if you open source the core of the server, but keep the clients closed, or vice versa, or something like that, you end up in a situation where the media server is just a commodity piece. But your secret sauce is how it all links together, is how the experience is for your users. And that's still where Plex wins over the competition right now. Obviously, going open source has risks with regards to, giving away the crown jewels or whatever, or maybe exposing an incredibly
Also, bad
janky code
actors.
base. Who knows?
Bad actors hacking it apart. I mean, you were great. Sorry to interrupt. Just on that thought, because I know I'm going to forget. TrueNAS is now doing their builds behind closed doors, of course, and they're doing that because so many, not bad actors, but so many companies just forked the hell out of it and stuck it in their own systems. There's a few examples straight away that I talked about in the previous video.
I mean, the irony of this,
you're right.
The irony of this whole
commercial
situation is that Plex was born out of XBMC many, many, many years ago. So it's not like open source is a foreign concept to them as a company.
I mean, 1 minute, Cody. People still use it, but no one talks about it. I mean, again, it's a real shame.
I mean, look, I mean, so I think about this often. My wife said to me when I was putting the video together yesterday, she was in her local favorite lunch spot and she pulls out her phone and she just opens the Plex app and there is the media like it is on the TV at home. And it's a completely seamless experience because of some of the remote cloud authentication and discovery stuff that Plex provide for you. So they do have a compelling product, which is the reason you and I are talking about it. It's the reason that everybody still uses it, despite all of the reservations we all have about data sharing risks, about Plex as a company, and the general posture of borderline hostility to the user base over the years. We still keep coming back for more, though, don't we?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I think now we're in a slightly different place where the value of Plex has now been laid out bare. And I think that's what that whole period prior to that convenience. Sorry?
They think their product is worth $750. That's what they're telling us. I mean, I don't know. Like, you look at many, many other hobbies around the world, like car racing, motor racing, right? Okay, it's a bit of a rich boy sport, but like you can buy a Garmin tablet to stick on your dashboard that does one job. It literally tracks your lap time with a GPS trace around and it's an Android tablet. It has a camera as well, like dash cam thing. That thing is $1,000. So, like, there are people in this world where $750 is just like couch change, and to those people, good for you, I guess. But I think for the rest of us, the sort of normal folks that are, like, when I was getting into this stuff, I was a student. There is no way on planet Earth I would have ever paid. I mean, I remember splitting the $75 with my dad 15 years ago, 12 years ago, because I was a poor student. And I literally 2 months at whatever it was, like $4 a month. I was doing the maths in my head of like, well, if I don't buy the lifetime now, I've already double dipped and basically I will have paid $100 or $200 instead of $7. So I may as well bite the bullet, even though I can't afford it, and do 75 now. There ain't no way. There ain't no way I would have done 750. It's just fat.
I mean, you mentioned that about the Garmin like race lap tracker, Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson punch and so on at the BBC Special Edition. Like, that user, I would argue, wouldn't use Plex. They would stream. Because apart from the audio file, I'll say that audio files are a beast unto themselves.
Yeah, they are.
But the majority of people that pay for that level of convenience and that level of precision, for want of a better word, they generally would have gone for streaming for the most part. But again, that I'd love to see the maths, the back of fag packet maths that Plex put together for that 750, because I think we again, I'm gonna have to double check this. I think we said a figure of 500. I think we were discussing it was you or I, or we agreed that 500 was the right number. And they just skipped 500 and went 249, 749, or 750. Yes, I read your comment. But, I mean, another thing that people raised, and we will wrap things up shortly, but was scalpers. Because a lot of people are like, what if I just buy 10 Plex passes and sell them on eBay? And the thing is, when you think about it, people are going to do that because it's only email linked. So it wouldn't surprise me if people consider doing that. So, hopefully Plex stamps on that, because that's going to be a terrible situation if it goes down there, because you can change your email at any point. But no, there you go. Plex will miss you. Yes.
People used to sell grandfathered AT&T SIMs back in the day that had unlimited data plans, like to RVers and stuff. Maybe I should sell my Plex Pass.
There you go. Well, he's below at eBay/Katie. No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers for jumping on the chat today, Alex. Best of luck with things over there. I'll deal with things over here, and we'll talk again in a year and see how that pans out.
I'll see you in a year when Plex is even less relevant, perhaps.
Oh, I'm going to get the gold edition. I'm going to get the one that gets bought out by Netflix. It's fine. Mine's going to be great. All right, then. I'll catch you later, mate. And thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.
See ya.